To Ella is similar to another West Valley teenager who was struck by lightning. This was back in 2018.
Yeah, and it was another case that doctors described as miraculous because the boy was badly hurt here. Well, now, 4 years later, he has made an extraordinary recovery, and he's got a message for the little girl and her family going through the same thing. Our Brianna Whitney is here now with more on this story. Brianna.
Yeah, these two instances have so many similarities. They only happened a few miles apart. One of them happened in Sun City West, the other in El Mirage. This weekend, that little girl was 12 years old, and at the time, Josiah Wiedman was 13. But while the two of them are numbers in a pretty rare statistic of people being struck by lightning, Josiah wants to show her what surviving looks like after recovery. To most, this might look like your typical Monday skate sesh.
I learned that life is precious and we should never take it for granted.
To 17-year-old Josiah Wiedman, a trick, a step, even just a breath is a blessing.
It can be taken away from us at any time.
For the teen, it almost was. The surveillance video was heart-stopping. In 2018, Josiah and his friend walking home when it started to rain, Josiah with his skateboard in hand. Next thing they know, a lightning bolt strikes them both unconscious.
When it hit it went through my leg and then hit my friend next to me too. They ended up teaching me how to walk again because I struggled with that.
Josiah was in a medically induced coma for 3 days. A once large mark on his leg, now just a small scar. But his survival was a miracle. Dr. Kevin Foster at the Arizona Burn Center says while Arizona doesn't have a ton of lightning, we do have higher numbers of people being struck by lightning, which they believe is linked to this.
Our storms tend to be quite sudden, very severe, and they tend to happen at times when people are outside doing things.
But recovery from a strike can be traumatic, and that's where Josiah wants to change the narrative.
After I got struck by lightning, I started focusing on more of my left side of my brain rather than the right of my logical side.
The teen says not only is he physically more able-bodied than he was before, but he's now learned the guitar and piano, is in a band called Death Ode, has his own clothing line, and writes poetry, things he never could do before.
So it awakened something in me and gave me this passion that I love now today with writing music and just drawing and just doing anything creative.
He has a message for the little girl and her family going through the aftermath of the near-death experience now. The other side of the storm is coming.
It takes time. But at the end of it, when you survive, when you get through it, when you prosper, there's many good things that will come out of it.
Another kind of odd similarity here. It was a Good Samaritan who found Josiah after he was struck and performed CPR on him for 30 minutes before paramedics could get there, saving his life. That man was a veteran. And then this weekend, that 12-year-old's father performed CPR on her multiple times. That man also a veteran, and it goes to show how important CPR training and knowledge can be. It's the reason these two teens are alive. And guys, I gotta say on a personal note, meeting and interviewing Josiah 4 years ago and seeing him today, pretty incredible to see how far he's come.
I bet. What a story he has to tell, and still all these years later, that video is very shocking to see. Brianna, thank you. In other